Very good morning, students. Happy to meet you all in this grand revision for paper 4 business economics. Now we have 4 days allotted for this subject, and primarily first 2 days will be for microeconomics and the next 2 for macroeconomics. That is how the plan is. And here, what is that we are going to do? Yesterday itself I have told you some critical components chapter wise, complex and intricate questions topic wise, some revision class exercises. It could be theoretical, it could be numericals, it could be graphical. And one thing, which I could say is, if you follow these revision tips, 75% marks is guaranteed. Of course, invoking the blessings of Almighty, we say, because a thorough study of the scanner, the previous year's question papers, revealed that these are the things which are repeatedly asked, right? So how to approach this kind of questions, and you have some classroom exercise. So I would be happy if you are going to have a notebook and pen for the next 4 days, right? So that you can do it. Of course, I'm planning to share the PPT slide based on the request of the people. Okay, this is for microeconomics. Macro will be totally like quiz exercise or MCQs exercise, which has a Word document, and we will be doing it in the class, and you will also get a printout of it. Okay, so that is how we are going to go. And so please remember, you are having some exercises in the class, and I would like you all to write down the answer as you know. It's not that you are going to write the correct answer. Probably, after a week of revision of so many subjects, whether you remember these topics, I do not know. But still, let us make a modest beginning, right? Okay. Now here, first of all, please understand, there is a massive change in our paper, isn't it? Previously, it was business economics with BCK. So now you understand that it is business economics and macroeconomics. And by business economics, we talk about microeconomics, and you have a major component of macroeconomics, right? Now here, to understand this, because I remember a student who said, who got confused, what is this all about, right? So please let us have this click into this, because it's a revision class. So I want you all to see this also very clearly, where weightage is being given. Okay, and there is a disclaimer saying plus or minus 5%. Okay, that is there. But I just want you all to have a look into it. Okay, business economics 100 marks comprising of micro and macro segment. You need not strictly have to go by this, but for you to know that an ICAI modular approach, right? So introduction to business economics 5%, theory of demand and supply 10%, theory of production and cost 10%, market structures 15%. My dear students, one of the easiest topics. You don't have even numericals there. They'll just give you some graphs, identify whether it's supernormal profit or loss, or normal profit, or which market, right? So don't miss this. This is what I wanted to tell. Generally, people find market structure to be a huge topic. Easiest in the examination, and look at the weightage you can score. Do you follow this? So these are called as revision tips. If somebody has decided not to, I remember a student saying, ma'am, market structures alone, I thought I'll avoid. It's big. No, it's the easiest and the percentage. Okay, and in macroeconomics, national income you have done at the school level, isn't it? Which also includes 2 sector, 3 sector, 4 sector models. So scoring point is there. Business cycles, right? Just 5% only. Public finance, what we did, no, market failure, fiscal policy, fiscal functions, 10%, right? And monetary policy, money, concept of money demand, money supply, 10%. International trade, 10%. Indian economy, 10%. So there is an equal weightage for macro topics, right? You say more or less, except national income, because it has even Keynesian models. Are you clear? So this is how the ICAI has given your weightage, right? So that is one thing I wanted you all to see. And by the time these people join also, you can have a look. And see, though it is given, my dear students, see, this is your ICAI segmentation, like chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as units and all. We have no confusion. We have clearly divided into micro lessons, macro lessons. Lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4. Macro, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 4. So go by our Bharadwaj order. It is easy for you to finish it off. Here, chapter, under that unit. Whether unit is big or chapter is big, no confusions. Let us follow our Bharadwaj material there. Is that clear? That much, do you understand why I am trying to show you all this initially? So this is what you are going to study under economics or revise, both micro and macro segments. See how smilingly this man requests you to take these 4 days. So same smile is requested from your side also. Okay, see how much he is obliging and he is asking you to do. And this is like from the scanner what I studied. There is a small change in what they give in ICAI and when you actually look into the papers. So this is one small exercise done for you, and I also have this clipping, which I did, and yeah, maybe I can show you that. Okay, I will show, but just see this work. How this is 10%. Maybe I have this in a Word document. I will show you later. But there is a small difference, you see. So we will go by that very strictly, right? Now, first 2 days topic list, I think I sent you yesterday. First 2 days will be microeconomics, isn't it? Completely on microeconomics, we will be doing it. And in day 1 coverage, what is that we are going to see? The list of topics are there. Can I request one of you to read the day 1 topics from the board?
Nature and scope of economics, A and B, law of DMU, theory of demand, elasticity of demand, theory of supply, elasticity of supply, equilibrium analysis, ICA, theory of cost, theory of revenue, economics of scale.
Okay. Yes, ICA is indifference curve analysis. Okay. Now we are going to start with the revision tip. Please keep your paper and pencil ready. So we are not able to. I am not going to request you. I have invited experts and people to request you to understand. These are very important. Okay. Now take revision tips for lesson 1 segment A. Do you remember that nature and scope of economics was divided into 2 segments for a study purpose, and segment A was general economics, right? And segment B was business economics, right? Now don't forget segment A. It is there in the question paper. Though in your parent source, a small note, a paragraph is given and right away they entered into business economics. But if you look at the question papers, they are asking who gave scarcity theorem, who gave the definition of scarcity, who is the father of economics, right? Okay. Now come to this part. So in segment A, from part 1 to part 5, sample questions are there, after which you will start exercise. Now, what does the segment contain? Meaning of the term oikos nomos, repeated question in the examination, direct question. Please remember that. Okay, oikos nomos, Greek word, household management, isn't it? And they interchange and ask you what is oikos, what is nomos. Yes, fundamental definitions. Now, this part, my dear students, I find 2 sets of questions. One is who gave this definition, okay, and the book, the year of publication, that is direct and technical question. And when you say direct question, it is simple, but unless you study, you can't write it because it's a technical question. I want you to understand this part. Direct and analytical question. All of you please understand, analytical question is numericals and graph, which needs time. But direct question doesn't need time, but you have to have studied it to answer it. That is called as a technical question. Now, under fundamental definition, do you remember, apart from the definition, merits and demerits, pros and cons? From pros and cons, they are asking you indirect questions. Are you clear? Yes. Now, look at this example of direct question. What was the publication of Alfred Marshall? Now, I am not asking you to answer this because exercise follows. Okay. Who is the father of neoclassical economics? Neutrality of ends was given by, and these 3 fortunately are repeated questions. Therefore, I took it and put it here, right? Now, this is an example of direct question. Direct question. Okay. Now, and the scope of economics, what you studied, concepts, no, directly they're asking. They give a statement and ask you whether this is production, consumption, distribution, exchange. That's also an example of that. And here, indirect question or in and around the topic is forms of utility. Nobody touches forms of utility, but in the question paper, there's a question. Place utility, form utility, time utility, different types. Do you understand that? So, direct questions are technical questions where you have to have thorough reading of it. Okay, an analytical question is your graphs and numericals. Okay, have you taken down that? Yes. Now this part, my dear students, what is highlighted is repeatedly asked in the examination taken from your parent source. That is, economics was known as a dash till 19th century. Political economy. They give you microeconomics, macroeconomics, business economics. It is political economy, don't miss that. First statement in your parents' source. Second one is, which is the first modern work of economics? Wealth of Nations is considered to be the first modern work. I remember somebody saying, ma'am, I thought it's a classical work. It is recognized as the first modern work of economics. These two statements are very important. It is there in the question paper. Are you clear? Do you understand this part? So, ICOS, NOMOS and other parts we have done. But these two from the parent source, I want everybody to register it. It is asked in the paper. So, what is the first modern work of economics? Wealth of Nations, right? And till 19th century, economics was known as political economy. Right? Are you clear with these 2 points? Yes, before forgetting, I want you all to note down this. Okay, so those who are just coming in, please keep your notebook and pens ready so that you can take down. Okay. Have you taken down these 2 highlighted points? Yes. Now, you are going to do this exercise. Please do the match the following exercise now. Technical and direct, which I was talking about. So do the match the following. I have given you the name of the economists on one side and their publications on the other side. So this is an example of, so what is the chapter we are revising? From lesson 1, segment A, part 1 to part 5. And what is that part 1 to part 5? Definitions, concepts on economics, and micro versus macro. Please come in. Art versus science, deductive versus inductive, positive versus normative. Can one of you just lock the door? Push the door. Yes. Example of a direct and technical question. What is this? So that in the next page, answer key will also be displayed. You know, it's been prepared in such a way that question and answer is there. So put the heading as revision class, lesson 1, segment A, part 1 to part 5. And every slide for your information has an exam tip, has a revision cue. And as I told you before starting the class, this revision will help you to get definitely 75%. Not less than that. If you are very committed to this revision class, we can assure you 75%. Rest is your hard work also. Have you done this? Have you matched the following? Okay. Anybody is ready with the answer? Anyone want to try the answers? Any difficulty there? Any challenge in any of the experts' name and his publication? And you know that these are the publications in which the fundamental definitions were quoted. I didn't even ask the year of publication. You know, I thought poor fellows, let them enjoy. But the answer key has it. The answer key has it. So this is very important, my dear students, because every paper begins with who gave Wealth of Nations. Alfred Marshall, and then four names of four books. These, see, the first page of the question paper is clear. At least first few questions, you will just pick it up very well. Okay. Now let me share the answer key for you. Please look at it. Tick mark the answers. Wealth of Nations given by Adam Smith. Welfare definition or principles of economics, Alfred Marshall. An essay on the nature and significance of economic science, Lionel Robbins. And Paul Saminson's work is Economics and Introductory Analysis. And for your information, with the year of publication also we have given. So this is to tell you that this is a very, very important technical segment to begin with, so that you don't get jittery on seeing this, right? And except when I say that unless you revise this, you can't touch this question, though it is direct. Supposing they give you Principles of Economics was published in the year. Unless I study or revise, I will not know this year. Isn't it? 4 different years are there. Isn't it? 1776, 1890, 1932, 1948. Right? First one clear? Yes? Okay. Next one. We continue with part 1 to part 5 segment A. My dear students, basic concepts in business economics or generally in microeconomics at 4 concepts: production, consumption, distribution, exchange. They happen to ask you either with an example or a statement. So don't, even if you don't go for details into that, at least know what is the definition of the 4. What do I mean by production? What do I mean by consumption? What is exchange? What is distribution? You will do an exercise where you will know that. And regarding micro versus macro, learn with examples. Repeated question is only example. 4 options, which is the odd man out. They will be asking which is the odd man out if it is macro. All 3 will be micro, 1 will be macro. So macro is the odd man out, right? Or they will ask you 4 options are given. 4, the question is on which is the odd man out. All 3 will be macro, 1 will be micro. So study this with examples. And in art versus science, where the students make mistake is they do not know which is empirical, which is theoretical. Register that. That's one repeated question they want to ask, because when they give you this question, they are giving you with examples. For example, if I say fiscal policy tools, it is an example of economics as an art, because application. Art is practical application. If I say law of demand, it is an example of science, economics as a science. So any law, any doctrine, any principle, if they give you like that, it is economics as a science. Any policy tool, monetary policy, fiscal policy, EXIM policy, international policy. Please remember, policy tool is a clue word for economics as an art, because it's practical application. Why does RBI give me this policy tool? To apply, no? They may give it, not generally monetary policy, bank rate, taxation policy. Tax rate came down. Do you understand? Tariff rate went up. That is economics as an art. Are you clear? That one. And deductive, positive versus normative. Again, all these I'm just showing you. You are going to do exercise now itself in the class. Positive versus normative. Please read the example once or twice. You can keep this as an analytical portion. It is not a direct question. You can just slip. And that is why in our Bharadwaj material, the exercises which we have done is maximum tricky, maximum types. Do you remember that? So for revision, you need not have to go to any source. You can touch that, revise that. This is a analytical segment for your information. You have to read it once, twice to understand, to grasp. And they may take from any branch of economics, as I was telling you while I was doing this segment. Okay, it could be from micro, it can be from fiscal, it can be from monetary. Do you understand my point? And deductive versus inductive. My dear students, this logic is there generally also, but you have to know from economics point of view, who gave deductive method, who gave inductive method, examples of deductive logic, examples of inductive logic. And I will also take the liberty to say, don't read anything further than that. Don't go for merits, demerits and process into mark you. This is a revision clue. Don't sit and by hearting that. No. What are you going to do under deductive and inductive? Who gave that school? Examples from economics, alternative names. Finish it. Finish it. That's all. Close that topic. Okay, all others. No, you have done already. They ask, because from the scanner, they have not even once they've asked. The in-depth way we have done. No. So what are the three things they're asking there? Who gave deductive logic and inductive logic? Again, economist name. Examples of deductive and inductive, economists, or examples from economics. And the third one is alternative names. Am I clear in that? So before going into the examination hall, or before as you're revising this, economics is a soft science, interdisciplinary science, multidisciplinary science. You can do this Gayatri Japa for 108 times, because they're asking you why it is a soft science, why it is an interdisciplinary science, why it is a multidisciplinary science. And when you look at these scanners, they say that this segment comes under the discussion economics as an art and science, which we did in the very first class. The very first class I told you that, you remember nature and scope of economics? Economics is a social science. It's a queen of social science. It is also a king of social science. All this we did. Now you tell me why it is a soft science. Because the crowd will be less. Is it so? Even for revision exam, grand revision also, people take liberty to walk in as they want. It's a very soft subject. Nobody will question you. Nobody will ask you anything. Very good. Come out. Fantastic. Economic laws are not as exact as laws of physics or chemistry. That's all. Because it deals with human behavior, which is unpredictable. Got the answer? Soft science. Interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary? Why? Why is it interdisciplinary? Why economics is an interdisciplinary science? Why is it a multidisciplinary science? Yes, it draws inputs from related disciplines. Accounting terms are there, no? In cost we study, in revenue we study, isn't it? Names, statistical tools are the linear programming. All those examples are there, which we did. ABC technique, all those things, right? So it draws inputs from related disciplines. So when you study economics as a science, when I share this slide, you please study these points very clearly. I have also found this because for correct and incorrect sentence, they ask you economics as an art and science, right? Of the four, one will be theoretical or science. That is how they ask you these statements, right? So please remember, and this part you see, the study of fiscal and monetary measures to bring down inflation makes a subject of economics as an art. Please note down this point, because they will be asking you policy tools, whether they fit into theoretical, because even that is an announcement made by RBI, an announcement as passed by the government of India, fine, but still they are for implementation purpose. Never forget this point, my dear students. Others, I can to a larger extent understand these, you will know. But this is where you have to understand very clearly. Okay. So this is what I found in the scanner also. And all these points are vital to a discussion on economics as a science or an art, which we have already discussed in detail in the class. Other points you are very, very clear with, right? So please understand. And the perfection of economics is less as compared to pure sciences. That is what we said. It is a soft science because it deals with human behavior, which is unpredictable. Do you understand this? And regarding micro and macro, what is a revision tip for you? Micro is difficult to sift out. In macro, there will be a tag, aggregate, gross, national. Those terms will be there. Micro, it is not like that. You have to keep reading that example again and again and again. And one comforting thing is what we have given in the Bharadwaj material. I find that is an example given in the paper also, which I found, right? So when you are revising micro versus macro, pay attention to micro, because macro, we know BOP, inflation, poverty, unemployment, or it will be GDP, GNP. That is easy. Aggregate demand function, aggregate supply function. Already the term aggregate, total or national will be there. To give you a hint, in micro it will not be there. Okay, that is what you have to revise for this particular segment. Can you understand? And as I told you, for economics as an art and science, in science, they will give you law. It'll end the law of demand, a doctrine, Veblen's doctrine. They'll give you the term doctrine, law, principle. All these indicate that they want to tell you economics as a science. Okay, doctrine, the word doctrine, the word principle, the word law is used to make you answer that economics is a science. Okay, because these are all connoting theoretical knowledge, right? And any policy tool will be economics as an art. Do you follow this? For part 1 to part 5, do you get the main revision tips? Are you getting the main revision tips? How we are going to revise? So for example, micro versus macro, my heart and soul will be on micro as compared to macro. Because that is what difficult to sift it out. Okay, yes. Now you can, yeah. This one is what I told you, no? Example of a question in and around from the topic, forms of utility. My dear students, when you study utility, it is not just law of DMU. They are asking you on the concept of utility itself and forms of utility as a surprise question. Sometimes students say, no ma'am, unexpected question. It will be from in and around the topic, and one segment for in and around the topic is forms of utility. Different types of utility, place utility, time utility, form utility. And being a revision class, I added service and knowledge utility also. Service utility arises when personal services are rendered by various professionals. They provide, you are now learning, you're getting some exam tips. Service utility, right? And knowledge utility, when you acquire knowledge, when you read about something and then buy a product, you are buying a correct product. You go as a novice to a shop and you take a smartphone, no, but you understand, you read brochures, you see ads, you discuss with people and go buy. You gain a utility. Why? Because of your knowledge, right? So this is for in and around segment, don't forget that. So all types of utility may come as a surprise question to you. Okay, I think thrice or four they have asked this in and around. Now, yeah, this is the exercise you're going to do. Please write the answers. Okay, is it visible to you? I have to zoom it. If I have to zoom it, I have to switch off and zoom, because the answer key is there at the side. It's it will fall in place when as soon as I touch it, no, you'll get the answers in place. So be prepared for this exercise. Okay. Is it dull or something? Is Saravana well? So you were doing something magic, that, or you are. Is it very clear? I mean, a little bit down. So please write the come in. Write the answers. I'm just going to give you. Give the name of the publication of Keynes. Yes. Yeah. No, please. Yeah, that's fine. That's very good. Okay. Give the name of the publication of Keynes with your consumption function is a micro or macro component. Per capita income, PCI, is a micro or macro component. Factor pricing, is it a micro or macro component? Micro distribution and macro distribution are one and the same. True or false? Art is practical, science is dash. The term macro was coined by, options are given for you, Keynes, Ragnar Frisch, Adam Smith, none of the given. Father of macroeconomics, Keynes, Ragnar Frisch, Adam Smith, none of the given. Professor Oscar launched words here. Economics is the science of administration of scarce resources in human society. Mention the definition. What definition is implied here? Dash is hailed as a father of welfare economics. Who is a father of neoclassical economics? And after I give you the answer key, I will also tell you something about the questions selected, the nature of the question, what category does it fall. How many questions are there in all? 9. 9 questions. Huh? 10 questions. How many were able to write at least 5? 5. Yes, Siddharth, is the fonts very small for you? I'm not going to ask you to exchange and correct and announce all India rank. Enough of motivation and enough number of times I made you all India rank holders. Yeah. 9 questions, okay. Would one of you say what do you find as most difficult in this? Anybody? Like, for you. I mean, I'm not saying give a universal thing. What is most difficult, what you felt? Oscar's definition. Very good. That's a point there to be noted. Okay. Yes. Can I release the answer key? Can I? Yes. Did you all try at least? You can try also, but time is less, no? The publication of the Keynes is this. General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, published in the year 1936. This drama of making it big and small is going to occur now and then, so don't worry. See, learning should always be fun when the subject is not so. Isn't it? So what is the first answer? Look at this. General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, published in the year 1936. Consumption function. I told you that mistake you will make. Consumption function is a Keynesian postulate. The concept given by Keynes. Okay. So macro. The word aggregate is not there. But consumption function itself implies total consumption as a part of proportion of total income. Right. Per capita income, it is always for the country as a whole. So macro. Factor pricing is micro, it is micro. Please remember, product pricing and factor pricing are repeated questions. Generally we think that these are made as a macro component to know. According to the raw materials I purchase, according to the expenditure I make, factor pricing. No, it's about the pressure in the factor market, right? Remember that micro distribution and macro distribution are one and the same. True or false? The answer is false, because micro distribution is factor price fixation. Macro distribution is relative percentage of different factors in the total national income. Please remember. And also the other favorite question is, can distribution be micro and macro? Yes. It is micro and macro. And I am only telling you why it is so. Okay. This art is repeated question. Art is practical. Science is, what did you all write? Without options I gave. Theoretical. So MCQs are there and also like this. So art is empirical, art is practical, art is application. Science is theoretical. Okay. The term macro was coined by Ragnar Frisch. It's not Keynes. Please remember, that's why they are asking it repeatedly. Though the father of macroeconomics is John Maynard Keynes, the concept of macro was given by Ragnar Frisch. Okay. Now this one, my dear students, is to tell you that once or twice, right from CPT times, they are asking you about, they give you one the statement of an expert where one of the four definition is implied. You must be able to guess it. It is not from the four fundamental definitions which you have studied, which is the exercise you just did. All the four experts fundamental definition with their book and year of publication. Now, what definition of the four is implied here? They give you the four: wealth, welfare, scarcity, and growth. What is implied here? Scarcity. So, like that, you must be able to give. Okay, and one other very difficult question, a technical question, not analytical, technical question from the direct segment is, see, four main experts have given four main definitions, but they have also given another definition on the same concept. Say Adam Smith, apart from giving an inquiry into the nature and wealth of economics is defined as an inquiry into the nature and causes of wealth of nations, he has given one other statement on wealth which they are asking who gave. That is where you have to be very clear, right? Are you clear? Apart from the fundamental definition which they have given on the chosen definition, they give also another statement. You must be able to guess it. So that is guess it. That's why I said guess it. Okay, that is one. And yeah, who is celebrated as a father of welfare economics? Yes, Adam Smith. Are you sure? Alfred Marshall? Professor A.C. Pigot. See, remember all these names of father of economics, Adam Smith. Father of classical economics, Adam Smith. And please remember, father of just economics is Adam Smith. That is a repeated question. They don't give the tag at all. So, father of economics means Adam Smith. Classical economics, Adam Smith. Neoclassical economics, Alfred Marshall. Macroeconomics, Keynes. Modern economics, Keynes. Welfare economics, though welfare definition is given by Alfred Marshall, father of welfare economics is Professor A.C. Pigot. That's why they're asking. 1 year they have asked this because all of you will say Alfred Marshall because he is one who gave welfare definition. Okay, please have that clarity. And modern economics is also Keynes. Macroeconomics, modern economics is Keynes. Father of economics, father of classical economics, both Adam Smith. That much are you clear? So these are all first two questions, first 2 or 3 questions this will be there. Is that clear, my dear students? And of all this, what is repeatedly asked is who is the father of economics? Are you clear now? Okay, father of classical economics, sorry, neoclassical economics, Alfred Marshall. Are you clear? Yes? Okay. Now in barter system, surprisingly you have questions on barter system. Okay, now I am giving you with options I am giving you. So this is a, so read these questions and choose a correct option for both of this. Now I'll ask you a question. Barter systems comes under or it's relevant to production, consumption, exchange, distribution. Now you do this. Because difficulties of barter system is a common question which is asked in many papers. Whatever exercises you do, you just at least mention that you have done an exercise on barter system, it will get registered in your mind. And if you are not able to write the full thing also, the main clue point if you can write, and the answer, it will be good. Some amount of writing is necessary in the class. Statement 1. In barter system, the rate of exchange will be arbitrarily fixed according to the intensity of demand for each other's goods. Consequently, one party is at disadvantage in terms of trade between the two goods. Statement 2. As payments are made in goods and services, debt contracts are not possible due to disagreements on the part of two parties on the following grounds. It would often invite controversy as to the quality of goods and services to be repaid. See, example of a direct question which sounds technical. That is what I was telling you from the beginning. Technical questions are those which are direct, undoubtedly, but they need repeated revision so that in the exam you finish it off and reserve time for analytical questions like numericals and graphs, etc. Are you clear? Do you understand that? Direct questions need revision. That's what I'm saying. Anybody was able to find out anything, or at least what you found as answer for the first and the second? Some idea you got? Second one is fantastic answer. Difficulties in deferred payments. As a goods and services, as payments are made, debt contracts are not possible. If it was money, it's possible, no? So, difficulties in deferred payment. Beautiful answer for the second one. First one. The clue is there right away. The rate of exchange being arbitrarily fixed. That is a clue statement. Lack of common measure of value. Why they are arbitrarily fixing? Because they don't have a price tag. I cannot take, I do not know the worth of my product is greater than yours. Do you understand? So the clue is there. So within the statement given, the clue will be hidden. Here in the second one, debt contracts. That's why she said deferred payments. You know, all this debts and borrowings, all this became possible. How? Because of monetary system, advent of monetary system. Are you clear? Yes, you got those two. So in barter system, for difficulties of barter system, they'll give you a statement like this and ask you to find out, tick mark the option. Got it? Yes. Can I go to the next exercise? Or yes? Yeah, you are going to do your favorite exercise. Find out positive, normative. Already I told you that it's a very tricky one. Look at these and keep writing. Write it as positive, normative, positive, normative. That's what you have to write. Okay, from the sentences. Because each sentence is of a particular type. And positive, normative is for segment A and B. Remember that. Okay, very, very important for both segment A and B. Under anything they can ask. There is no paper without positive and normative. And for positive and normative revision, please use Bharadwaj material because it's only exercise. The chapter has no theory. Merits, demerits, no. One small tabulation. Difference between positive and normative. Right away exercise starts. You know that? You remember that? So please revise that. Any type of question is collected from there. Probably instead of milk they will use butter, or instead of house they will use some other property. Right? Okay. Please, high interest rates will dampen house prices. Inflation is a most serious problem in a developing country. Is online academic program needed at the school level? Disposable income has declined by 2% over the last 3 years. Does currency devaluation fuel inflation? Should alternative fuels be subsidized? Resources are best allocated by allowing market mechanism to work freely. What government policies will reduce poverty? Based on past data, big tax cuts would help many people, but government budget constraints make that option unfeasible. Information provided will be selective in nature to prove their viewpoint. I've done now. These selected statements are each falling under different categories. That is why it's given, each falling under categories. And in Bharadwaj material, along with the answer, we also said why you chose this to be positive, why you chose that to be normative. Okay, so that is where you understand the example, and then you read. That's why I said use Bharadwaj material. Directly a positive, normative, no. Why I chose this to be positive, why it was normal. That's how we discussed in the class. Are you clear? I think there should be one more statement. If I click, I'm worried whether the answers will come. So only I've just silent. Which do you feel is the most trickiest statement among the given? Now, this type of sentence makes me keep thinking again and again and again. All are easy. Shall I take it in that way? Look at the sentences and write the answer. Done? Okay. Answer key is going to be released. Or you can also say along with us if you are interested. High interest rates will dampen houses. It is. See, one more is there. My fear got confirmed. Sectoral imbalances is the most serious problem in a developing country. One more is also added, right? Okay. First answer is positive. What is certain to happen? So positive, by positive, what it is doesn't mean present tense, as I was telling. Certainty of a happening. That is positive. Certainty of a happening. Therefore, only we say positive statements can be empirically tested. You have an evidence, you have a proof. Whereas normative are ethical considerations, opinions, suggestions. We cannot test it. Please remember, see, that very first thing will be a confusion. Her answer is also an enlightenment for us. So you have to keep reading the positive statement. Here, among positive and normative, finding out positive is tough because normative always is should will be there. Some people don't even read, oh, should is there, okay, normative. It's easy, right? Then, inflation is the most serious problem. Normative. My dear students, please remember degrees of comparison, most, worst, worse, bad, best, all these are estimates, judgments given. So yeah, you say inflation, I say pollution. So that is there, no? So please remember most, best, worst, these are some judgments being given. So when you find that like should for normative, this is also an easy clue. But people generally know because what it ought to be, what it should be is already there as a premise. But this is also a clue, please remember. Okay. Is online academic program needed at the school level? It is. Why are you so positive today? I'm happy that you're very positive today. Everything is positive. But answer is normative. Because for you it is good. That's why you're not at all coming to the class. For some they need physical class. Isn't it? So it is an opinion based. Right. Disposable income has declined by 2% over the last 3 years. Positive. Yes. Please remember numbers will be there both in positive and normative. Please remember that point I told you. Don't just blindly say, oh, numbers are there, positive. No. Okay. Numbers can also be there under in, say for example, wages should increase by 3% should increase, normative, by 3%. That doesn't mean it's positive. So please don't go by a delusion that numbers imply. So I'm clarifying the delusion for you. Numbers are positive, no. Should is normative, yes. Descriptions, descriptive words like best, worst are normative, yes. Are you clear? Okay. Does currency devaluation fuel inflation? It is positive, because I can check this. Now, this is one, my dear students, is a complex statement, and they will take it from any economic event and give. Say they will say that, for example, they will say that Great Depression or the depression of 2011 has brought a decline in the disposable income of many countries by so and so percent. You can verify that. The World Economic Depression of 2011. Right? So euro crisis has affected manufacturing sector across countries, or housing sector, or something they'll give. It can be verified. So this is an example of a sentence which can be verified, because the event is given and the impact of event is given. So you go back to the date in history, verify it. Empirical evidence, therefore positive. Are you clear? Yes or no? Instead of this, they will give world economic crisis, euro crisis, whatever it is. Okay, next one. Resources are best allocated. No. Should alternative fuels be subsidized? Normative. Resources are best allocated by allowing the market mechanism to work freely. Think and tell. Normative? Why do you say normative? Best. You know, this is also a truth. So some people will think it's positive. It is truth actually. Resources will be efficient. We have studied no efficient allocation done by private sector. Market mechanism is there. But here best. That's why I told you have that word. Are you clear in that? Now my dear students, supposing 4 options for the same statement I'm saying, resources are best allocated, 4 options are there. True, positive, normative, none of the micro. You have to choose, normative. True is there, but that some people tick mark true. No. What kind of statement is a question. Are you clear in that? Yes? Okay. What government policies reduce poverty? In fact, I was telling you this. It's an Indian context, Indian economy context. So I told it's an expected question. What did you all write? Normative or positive? 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 Why? Why positive? What government policies will reduce poverty? Yes, anybody else has given any answer and they know the reason why they have answered? Yes, Harita, you want to say something? No? Okay. So, what government policies means what type of government policies? Answer is always there for it. The list is given. They will ask you not, it's poverty, no? What government policies are used to eradicate unemployment? Means unemployment measures. That's what. Poverty alleviation programs, unemployment measures, rural development programs. For that only they'll ask. What type of government policies address or promote rural development? List of rural development programs. Haven't we studied TRISEM and Mahatma Gandhi program, IRDP? So many programs are there, right? The list is asked, that's all. This is one type of question, Indian context, so we are expecting it. Now the next one, what was the answer you all gave? Why positive? Data, based on past data. And it's a fact. Even if that phrase is not there, no, big tax cuts would help people. You and me, it will help. But the government will face financial constraint, no. So even without that phrase, the answer is positive because it's a happening. Okay. Information provided will be selective in nature to prove their viewpoint. Positive? Yes, sure. information provided will by them will be select. They want to prove their, if I want to prove my viewpoint, I will give data supporting to me. That is somebody saying this. Information provided will by them will be only selective, you see, to prove their viewpoint. Somebody is telling this. This is normative. This is an example of most tricky question, because who is saying, to whom are they referring will be chopped off in that sentence. So from the sentence itself, I know somebody is telling that that party is definitely going to share some information or evidence in support of their statement. Somebody is saying that the other party will be sharing, will be giving information. If I want to say that the growth rate of India is super, Indian economy is fastest growing, I will collect all data to show that, because I want to prove my statement. So the evidence which I am having is not the point here. I am framing one statement. No, for that I am collecting data. So therefore it is normative. Are you getting that point? Last one. Sectoral imbalances is the most serious. Most is it. For me, sectoral imbalances is the most serious problem. Most, worst, all this. Yes? Got it? Are you clear? Okay. Please do this with options. Try this. Is it visible? Or you're going to say no? Visible or not?
You can freeze that and then
Can you tell me freeze? How to do freeze? Of the three, which is easiest? Raise your hands. What you find? People who find one question at least very easy. Super preparation here. I'm touched actually. But maybe somebody, we do not know, suddenly one will get very high score and make us happy. We do not know. You are all preparing. And since you were in this week of hectic revision, no? Sudden surprises will be, they'll come and say, I'm only thinking of that very positively. Like you're all positive, no? Last exercise you said everything is positive, no? So like that I'm thinking. Suddenly somebody will come and say, I got 89, I got 92, I got 93. I'm imagining I'm in that world already. I'm in the result world. Yes?
will be in that category.
I'll be most happy if he's in that category. Have you completed? I'm going to release the answer key. First one, was there any guess you can make? Very good. Doesn't it resonate with scarcity definition somewhat, right? Isn't it? Doesn't it resonate? See, this is like, I told you, directly, question indirectly. Okay. Which one of the following statements is true? Even a small child will say that.
Both A and B.
Both A and B. Okay. Sometimes so easy the paper is. You feel blessed. Third one. Be very careful in third one. Yes, Ananya, what is your microeconomics? Very good preparation you have done.
Yeah.
Very good, Venkat. Yes, anybody others got micro? Yeah. So because it's a business and business has lot of employees, don't think otherwise. Right? So that is what you have to understand. I think somewhere we did know location of an industry and something like that, no? We did in the class. Okay. Freeze option is there. No? So when do you expect your break? Who said that? Waiting for. Okay, you do this exercise and I'll give break. Okay. This one, my dear students, thoroughly a subjective question. Subjective type of question means what? The benefit of economic study. Thank God they didn't have one option like none of the above. I was thinking, if that was there, whole of my class students will tick mark that no.
See, ma'am.
Option C. Yeah? Think. In fact, in the um, scanner answer itself, the expert opinion itself, three options are equally appropriate. That's what they say. And what that examiner who said the question is tick marking, that is the answer.
No, none of the above this.
That is what I said. Yeah, I thanked my stars that none of the above is there. Which means that will be your first option. No, even if I get negative marks, it's okay. I'll be speaking the truth. That's what you'll say. No, I'll speak the truth.
Ma'am, what if we take all the four? If all the four is relevant to the question. Relevant or
Error
So this is what is called as a subjective answer. For me, one thing is correct. For her, one thing is correct. So the examiner who said this question, what he is tick marking is your answer. It's a subjective answer, no? Benefit of economic study. Okay. Second one, everybody would have written, isn't it? But what is the difference there? What is that tricky about it? And you knew the answer? Did you all give the answer? Were you able to give the correct answer? Yes? Seriously? Seriously? But you have given some answer. Okay. Now, it enables to examine a problem in its right perspective. But the according to the scanner, they say even A, even B is not wrong. Chosen. I mean, when they finally what they vote, the highest voted answer will be taken. So it is C. And the next one is Adam Smith. My dear students, JB says also given. He's also a classical economist. So he also supports wealth definition. Okay, now this is another statement given by Adam Smith. Not the usual fundamental definition. Another statement given by the proponent of the definition. That is what I was telling you. We did an exercise on fundamental definitions, their quote, their publication, year of publication, everything. Do you see this? I may not, I may choose even JBC. He belongs to classical school, he has accepted a wealth definition. Which means what? It's a technical segment which I have to revise. The answer I will know only when I read. So only that first chapter, that part 1, all this pros and cons we have given, other statements given by the same experts or some other experts quoting on wealth, welfare or scarcity definition. Like that only it is framed. Are you clear? Okay. Yes. Should I move to the next or you definitely want a break? What is that?
ask for class of this.
Yeah, please tell me. No, you have to tell me. No, you people have to tell me. Okay, let's continue further. So you are going to do a small exercise on deductive versus inductive logic. So this morning when I was giving you a capsule of what you have to study from part 1 to part 5, regarding deductive and inductive, what did I tell you? Alternative names of this two logic, school or the economists who founded or propounded that, examples from economics. Please do this small exercise. See, this person is also reasoning with you. You don't have to do it alone. This person will help you. Artificial intelligence, AI. And a revision tip for this chapter is, please revise examples from economics pertaining to deductive and inductive method. Repeated question. This is a template for questions from deductive versus inductive. And the last one, if you see, it will be little difficult than all others. Hardly 3 or 4 questions, no? Can I release the answer key? Did you read the statement and got the answer? You can even write D for deductive and I for inductive. I'm not even asking you to write the question, because anyway I will share the slide also. If you grasp the question and write the answer correctly, that's more than enough. Yes, Kirtika, you have done it, I think, isn't it? But for the last. Others, all of you? Yes, sir. You are a little bit in a fix. Any problem? Last one only. That's understandable. Okay. Consumer surplus is an example of dash method of reasoning. Do you think answer key will be here? Should I freeze it or no, unfreeze it and do all this? So see, the man is throwing the answer to you. Okay. Deductive. Isn't it? Consumer surplus is deductive method. I think we saw Engel's law and Malthusian theory and all for inductive method we have seen. Okay. Then inductive method was given by neoclassical school. True or false? Deductive method given by classical school. You remember? Inductive method was given by neoclassical school. True or false? What did you answer? It is false, because it was given by historical school. Historical school. Remember, not neoclassical. Most of the students have tick mark neoclassical for this. Classical given by deductive means inductive is neoclassical. No. Historical school. That is why this question I selected and put it. Where students have made mistake, where the examiner himself says it's a tricky question, where you will tend to slip. That is the exercise you're doing to throughout. You're going to do that kind of exercise only. Okay. So naturally people will think it is neoclassical. It is historical school. That's why it's false. Now look at this. A priori method, abstract method, analytical method is deductive method. Isn't it very able to write that correctly? A priori. Posterior is inductive method, isn't it? Yes or no? Abstract method, analytical method is deductive. Now the last one, do you remember two process, ascending process and descending process? For one method, it is ascending process. For another method, it is descending process. Now here, did you at least find out whether this statement is inductive or deductive? Did you find out this? Then we can see whether which process. The process there you have to write ascending or descending. Okay. Now, this statement is deductive or inductive according to you. According to you. It is deductive, because from an undisputed fundamental fact we keep thinking and coming to a specific conclusion. Okay, deductive. So deductive process is descending process, inductive process is ascending process. The examiner himself in the paper has given an asterisk mark and saying that students may find this question tough, therefore only I selected it. Ascending is inductive, descending is deductive. So first of all, two important things are there. It's not merely the fill up. You should know whether the statement is inductive or deductive, then only you can choose ascending or descending. You understand? Fill up is only one, but you have to understand and the base and then give the answer. Are you clear? So the names of the experts, which school of thought, alternative names, examples, these are the things you're going to read. And as I told you, you can avoid or skip merits, demerits and process. They have never asked. Throughout, if you say past 10 years even. Okay? Yes? Are you clear? Now, we are entering into segment B. Now, this is a very, very important revision tip for segment B, because in business economics, look at these segments It's a revision, exclusive revision tip for business economics because the definitions of business economics are experts' name are new to you. You cannot easily recollect. If they give you a statement, you cannot say whether it is Segelman or Spencer's or McNair and Merriam or Joel Dean. It is not easy. So, the advice of the experts itself is to revise these definitions more often even than the 4 fundamental definitions. Okay. Next, features of business economics and general economics, same only, except for one feature where we will, in business economics, we say general economics is both positive and normative. In business economics, it is more normative than positive. That is a clarity they are asking that repeatedly. That is almost in many papers, this is business economics is more normative than positive. Remember this repeated question in the examination. But general economics, we just say economics is both positive and normative. That is the difference between the two. Okay. And then scope of business economics, yes, micro and macro, the same thing. But here for business economics, we use the terms operational or internal issues to refer to micro, and environmental or external issues applicable to macro. So remember this segmentation, classification for business economics, right? And this issue segment is a must revise segment because examples easily you cannot. It is not like micro and macro which you do there. Here issues. So when they give you something, you should be able to tell whether it's an operational issue or an environmental issue, right? So with a small revision tip for the topic itself, we will enter into the exercise segment. Okay. Yes, this revision tip is clear for you. For this chapter, what you are going to do, definitions repeatedly revise because names of the experts may not be very familiar to you. Regarding features of business economics and general economics is all is the same, but except for the fact that business economics is more normative than positive. And regarding scope of business economics, for general economics we call it as just micro and macro and leave it at that level. For business economics we define micro as operational or internal issues and macro as environmental or external issues. Now questions are both theoretical and empirical. That is what we found. So we can, yes. I will try this freeze. How will I know it's freezed here? I am just pressing.
Top.
I pressed it.
It is written.
It will see in there. It's seen there. It's freezed. It's seen there for you. Okay. Now, not freezed. Yeah. Please do the small exercise. Decision making involves evaluation of feasible alternatives, and you are given choices. Rational judgment on the basis of information, choice of a particular alternative with a decision. Sorry, this one more I'll freeze and I'll. Now that I freeze, I would like to do it. How do you say? I've learned one thing. I'm excited about this freezing here. Why is this step there? It's freezed, you know. Okay. See this, after you do this exercise, I'll tell you something very important about. It's visible, right? Please do it. So decision making involves evaluation of feasible alternatives, rational judgment on the basis of information, choice of a particular alternative which the decision maker finds as the most suitable, all of the above. Business economics comprises of choose the odd man out, economic knowledge, logic, theories, subjective considerations, analytical tools. We have given you more. After you do these two questions, I will tell you the significance of these questions. Got the answer? Yes, Tamim, you got the answer? Thinking. Yes. Now the secret to be told here is these are not analytical questions. If you are not able to find the answer from this, which means you have not read this or revised this. So that segment B is one topic where it is full of abstract theories, abstract statements, and they are asking from that directly. It is not indirect. As far as business economics is concerned, segment B, they are asking directly, but still students finding it tough because revision is not adequate. It's in abstract language only. So you have to revise segment B. Bharadwaj material very clearly gives you all this. So the answer for the first one is all of the above. Okay. And the second one is, by any guesses there for second one? The odd man out you have to choose. Which means business economics is not, is what you have to find. What is business economics is not? Business economics is not or does not include subjective consideration. It's a scientific thing. Scientific, it's analytical. Subjective is what we have seen, no? Psychological. Are you clear? So please then and there mark it off that segment B as it is revised from the Bharadwaj material, because questions directly are taken and asked. They are not making it analytical. That's what. What are the tools involved in business economics, and what is that decision making process? Everything is given as it is. So when I know that topic, I'm able to address it. It comes under direct type of question category only, not analytical. But highly technical. Highly technical means unless you revise, you can't. So that is the problem here. Okay. Are you clear? Okay. Now do this. First one only I didn't give options. Others, some options I've given. True or false I've given. This or that I've given. And this is a template question for this segment, means what all types of questions can be asked from this chapter is here. A sample question from all. After the study of scanner, this type only they are asking from this segment B. One is about who gave this definition. One is about, as you saw previously also, the second question is name of the expert is there, but you should know, no? The other part. Completed? As I told you, these are not analytical questions. If you don't know means revision is not enough. You understand? To make you know that only this is given. It is not like a positive normative exercise you did, no? You look at the exercise, analytically you have to think, oh, that is really an analytical exercise, positive normative. But this is, you have to read this. It's clear, no? This option is operational or environment. Okay. I'm going to show you the answer key now. See, Joel Dean defined business economics in terms of use of economic analysis in the formulation of business policies. Almost in 4 papers, Joel Dean's definition alone was asked. But I'm not telling you that you read only Joel Dean. McNair and Medium and Mansfield, Spencer and Segelman all are important. But reading of the names of the economists itself is important for you to get familiar with that. Right. Okay. According to McNair and Merriam, managerial economics is the use of economic modes of thought to analyze business situation. Repeated question. So you are using economics as a technique to analyze business situation. They are reversing and giving. Is the use of business modes of thought to analyze economic situations? No. Economic modes of thought to analyze business situation, because business economics is an integration of economic theory with practical business situations. Business economics is more normative than positive. I think all of you who are physically, mentally in the class would have answered this. No, true. We saw that already. Dash studies the nature of consumer preferences and effects of changes in the determinants of demand. Answer is demand analysis and forecasting. Be very careful. Components of internal issues and external issues, or micro and macro, are very important. You must know that, as it is well explained in our material. Then business economics enables a firm to arrive at the best course of action for optimum utilization of available resources. Answer is resource allocation. Working of central banks and financial sector capital market comes under environmental issues. And socio-economic organizations, trade unions, producer unions, consumer unions, cooperatives comes under again environmental issues. Please don't think that trade union belongs to a particular firm and write it as internal or operational issue. No, they have federations at the world level, right? Any form of this cooperative unions are examples of external or environmental issues. Are you clear? So do you understand segment B is a technical must for repeated revision? They are not analytical question. If you do not know, means you have not revised it properly. Are you clear? Okay. So finally, I'm just showing you this clipping from your parent source. If you want to, you have no time to see know the difference between general and business economics, you can see the tabulation. But those who read only the parent source may need this. But we have done extensively 2 segments. For us, it is not, we are not going to learn from this table. We already know. Right, but anyway, I'm showing you this as such. Now go to DMU. So we have done part 1 to part 5 in segment A lesson 1 and segment B in lesson 1. This is just lesson 2. All energy drained by entering, even before entering into lesson 2. Now look at this. You can even try to answer these questions. But anyway, I want to tell you what is asked from here. Looking at the question paper, as I told you, by DMU, they are not only referring to the law of DMU, they also test you on the concept of utility. And that is where you are at an advantage, because in Bharadwaj material, after doing an exercise on utility only, we will go to law of DMU. We don't start with the DMU, TU, MU, we don't start. We do discuss adequately on utility and then you go. So for you, it should not be a problem. But definitely, as the examiner himself says, students will directly go into law of DMU, but questions on utility itself should be expected. That's why I gave you, we started with this, and law of DMU is given by. There again, so many experts are there, economists are there in this topic. That's why this question is asked for you. to have a clarity on who gave that. Who used cardinal approach in utility analysis? Repeated question on cardinal and ordinal. Repeatedly. Either cardinal or ordinal. Who gave it? In which analysis it is useful? Meaning of the term utility. 4 statements are there, right and wrong. Like what is economics, what is demand, like that, what is utility. See, my dear students, some of the concepts like demand, market, supply, utility, it is defined as, it means 4 statements are there. You have to tick mark the right one. Are you clear? Okay, like that, utility. Then in water diamond paradox, in one paper they asked, which refers to TU, which refers to MU. So I took this question, it was unique of that year and it's added here. Then, of course, formulaic expressions, tabular and graphical computation, we are going to do the exercise, which is also important. Assumptions and exceptions. Don't think that they are neglected, they are not neglected. Question on assumption is there, question on exception is there. Okay. Now, have you attempted answering the questions? I think 4 questions are there. Okay. Answer is not there in this page, I think. Is it okay? No, is it going on? Oh. So remember, this TUMU exercise is very, very important. Extremely important. You are also going to do from the scanner itself. I have taken down some numericals. You will do that. Okay. So what is the answer? Who coined the term utility? I thought it should be in fingertips, and I don't think I gave key, but I thought I told you umpteen number of times in the class. So many experts are associated. Do you want me to give the options and make you feel blessed? Okay. So who gave the term utility? Let's see. Sorry, I write it as. See, my ultimate aim is to get the name of the economist from you. Still, I can do that. Who coined the term utility? I remember one student answering, no? She said, when I said who coined, conceived, origin of the term. So anything which originated, only Adam Smith should do, ma'am, because he is a father of economics. He only coined, conceived, like that. See how students think to get the answer. Yes, Sai Shri, want to say? The broad smile says, you know very well. Please come out with the answer for the class. Gaussian.
None of the above.
Okay, none of the above. Not bad, yeah. So, it is John Maynard Keynes. Stanley Jevons. A fantastic answer. Do you remember? Stanley Jevons. Not, she remembers. Others only I'm asking. She only answered no. So, Stanley Jevons, conceived, coined the term. Remember that. See all these names. Yes, Ananya, what is your doubt? Can I help you? You want to disturb Siddharth? Got the answers? Okay. Law of DMU was given by Gaussian. Sure. Law of DMU was given by Alfred Marshall because He only made it scientific, giving the term utils and all. Gaussian propounded and left it there. But as law of today, when you study DMU with all these utils and other things, it was given by Alfred Marshall. Okay. Who used cardinal approach in utility analysis? That is why we say utils, cardinal approach, all things he gave. But Gaussian also gave this, he propounded. But who made it more scientific and systematic? As a contribution, it was made by none other than Alfred Marshall. Okay. Meaning of the term utility? One satisfying power of a commodity. Okay. Now, in water diamond paradox, with what would you associate TU with? With what would you associate MU with? Does water mean TU or MU? Does diamond mean TU? What is what you're giving? Water is TU and diamond is MU. You all remember that? Because it was the discussion about usefulness and utility, isn't it? Paradox, water diamond paradox, as given by Adam Smith. Again, as given by, this was given by Adam Smith, water diamond paradox. Water, which is needed for our survival, should have highest value. But the paradox is, water is available free, it's a free gift. According to economists, it is a free good or minimum only, but diamond is too expensive. We can lead this entire birth without diamond, isn't it? So it is a paradox. That was given by Adam Smith. See how many names here. So if you ask, what did this man Gaussian do at last? Tell us then. So he propounded, he gave two laws. First law and second law. Okay, you are going to answer it. That's why I'm not giving this explanation in a detailed manner. Okay, now do this exercise also. That first one you already did, because that is asked in many papers, like demand, like supply, like market, utility is asked. That's why I repeated this question, because it's asked. Other things you are going to find out. And also enter the answers in the question marks. TUMU computation. Done now? Or doing? Do it. Okay. Shall I release the answer key? Yes? Okay. Utility is formula for MU. One more question is there, as usual. So, utility is defined as you all said in 4 is one satisfying power of a commodity. DMU is Gaussian's second law. It's an important question, my dear students. In many papers they have asked. So, it is true or false? False. Why? First law. Okay, what is the second law? Equimarginal utility. Correct. Perfect. Okay. Now, equimarginal utility is also known as law of substitution. Remember that. Okay. Then, utility has no moral or legal significance. True or false? True. Yes. Utility has material or physical existence. False. Very good. Marshallian utility analysis is based on dash approach. Cardinal. Okay. Now, did you calculate these numbers? That is, you have to calculate TU from MU. And here you have to calculate MU from TU. Did you do that? Did you get the answer for both? Both the columns did you get? Yes. So what was the answer for the first one? Okay, this one is formula for MU is delta TU by delta Q, or the other one you can give, isn't it? TUN minus 1, isn't it? Okay, now look at the answer. 36. How did we get? 20 plus 16 is 36. And here what was the answer you got? 56 minus 48. Okay, so we got the answer as 8. Okay. Now you can take down a problem. Please take it. From the following data, compute the questions. What are the questions? Two questions are there. A. What you're supposed to compute is TU derived from two units and MU of third unit. MU of third unit. TU derived from two units, MU of third unit. Done? What are the answers? First one is 380. How did you get? Because TU for one unit is 200 and MU for second unit is 180, which means second unit has added 180. So I add that to the first one and I get 380. Right. Second one is MU of third unit. So how do I get that? Now that I know the TU of second unit, 2 units, I have TU of 3 units. So TU of 3 units minus 3 of 2 units will give me my MU, which is 100. Done it? Got the answer, all of you? And one other, the next important type of question, I call it even as a template question, which you all must note it down because they will ask you in different way. It is definitely asked. When MU is, when MU is 0, TUS. This type of question is asked every time. Every batch this question is found. It is maximum, it is lower, it is negative, it is increasing. With the same options given in the examination, I am giving you. Yes? TU is maximum. Okay. When MU is maximum, TU is, when MU is maximum, without options I'll ask you. When MU is maximum, yes? Constant. It's actually a question, it's a concept based question, but they're using these computations to ensure that you've understood the concept. It's a concept based question, that's why they'll ask you. This from the graph and computations you can easily know. Even from the diagram you know how MU is. It can cut, it can become negative, isn't it? It cuts the x-axis and goes down. What is it? You want me to give the options? Or without options you can answer? So like this, in each year they will ask you. So when MU is negative, what is TU? When TU is maximum, what is MU? Okay, all these kinds of question. When TU is declining, what is MU? That type, right? Somewhere about TU and MU. So that relationship, numerical relationship studied properly, must revise. Now this answer, MU diminishes or increases? Okay. TU is minimum. Because the first point of MU is a maximum. That is where TU has started. First point of MU is maximum. Say you see 20, 16, 14, 12. We see like that, 8, 4, 2. So the starting point of MU is its maximum. That time TU will be minimum. You can't say constant because it's going to increase. So it is minimum. So it is declining, that's maximum means what? From there, from the first point, it will be declining. That is the law of DM, As they have more and more units of commodity, I will reach a point of, I do not want any more. That point is known as satiety or saturation. Are you clear? Is that much, are you clear? Okay, so I need to get clear now. Okay, that's nice. We are entering into law of demand. Now, what am I going to focus in this topic? Please look at this kind of questions which are asked in the examination. As usual, who gave the law of demand? There is no confusion. Who gave? Alfred Marshall. No confusion. In the previous topic, Gaussen was there, Stanley Jeevan was there, isn't it? So many people came and said, I have only given, I have only given. Here, nobody. It is only Alfred Marshall. Now, meaning of the term demand in economics, my dear students. Technical definition is one type, subjective. You have to choose which is the most, as we saw, no, economics is like that. There is a subjective type of question also there. But all said and done, definition in economics is what they are looking for. In economics, by demand we mean. You remember that? That is what you have to revise and come for the chapter. Now, this is common for not only demand, supply, cost, market, utility, revenue for all. One question is there on the meaning of the term itself, and why are they asking not the general meaning? It is, that's why in demand chapter would begin with in economics by demand we mean. Supply topic, we did that exercise on supply only. What is supply in economics, and then only we came to law of supply. So please note that meaning of the term apart from law of demand. Law is separate, but meaning of the term in economics. Is that clear? Because it has two components, isn't it? Desire or willingness plus purchasing power or ability to buy. And who gave the two segments? In economics, no, we have one economist who said, no, yeah, it is in economics by demand we mean what we desire to buy and also what is actually paid for. You remember that? Who gave that? Richard G. Lipsey. It was asked only once long back. But anyway, we have included. Now, determinants of demand, factors influencing demand will always be a case example. If you have one question in numericals, you will do that. Okay, then concepts with which you have to be familiar repeatedly, Veblen and Giffen effect. Repeated question, Veblen effect and Giffen effect. So you should know the difference. Demonstration effect is asked once in a while. Once in a while, demonstration effect. Income effect and substitution effect. Are they reasons for the law of demand or are they exceptions for the law of demand? Income effect and substitution effect, reasons. Giffen and Veblen, exceptions. Remember that. Now, ceteris paribus, like oikos nomos, with which we began today's class. What is this phrase? From which language? All factors remaining constant. Origin language is it originated from? Be loud. Latin, So you just say and you withdraw, no? It's like somebody coming out and then withdrawing back. So, yeah, it is Latin. Repeated question, other things remaining constant, okay? Real income versus money income. Please remember this point because under income effect, this is what we are studying. What you are studying under income effect is the impact of price on quantity demanded. Real income effect. Okay, remember that. See, all these are the ways you have to revise a topic, not generally. Okay, and reasons behind the law of demand. Can you recollect at least 4 reasons? Why does the demand curve slope downwards? It's called as economics behind the law of demand. Law of DMU. What happened? Tongue-tied. Answers are there here. Income effect, substitution effect. Yeah, then one more. That is why safely I am not asking these questions to you. I know your level of preparation. I ask something. So, set of revision questions I will ask, but deeper ones. Tell me the 4th point. price effect. Already an income effect, we will study the impact of price on quantity demanded, isn't it? Exceptions. Principle of different uses. Yes or no? We see with an example of electricity. Yeah, we saw that. Okay. So this is when you revise, you keep your, revision notebook, revise with this. Do I know the answers for this? What is the, in what way Giffen and Veblen are different? Giffen is for staples, which are no substitutes, whereas Veblen is for superfluous goods. Those do not have any intrinsic value, external appeal. They are looking good, but they have no value. So like that, you must be able to give that, right? So this is how you are going to revise this topic. Okay. So we will come back and do